Wow. Wow. So you created a business where nobody else really saw an opportunity. And so tell me more. How does this work? And so people are going to buy your program to learn how to maximize the discounts they could get on retail products that they need every day, right?
Essentially, couponing is easy, but finding the order of operations, because I mean, you think with digital couponing, what the stores are offering, is individuals, and then what the actual corporate side of that is offering, and then the manufacturer coupons on top of that, you just hit one layer of discounts, across the board. And like I say, you can find stuff, things that you use every single day for, 90% off. Now, in the course, we're looking to teach something along the lines of ethical couponing. So, we're not just going in like the extreme couponing stuff.
How do I find it?
ChainsawCCC.com/courses. We've got everything you need to know to get started immediately. Come check us out. So let's take a look at some of the social media comments that I saw in the last couple of days pertaining to these subjects at hand that really grabbed my attention. Steve writes, why are supposedly pro-life Republican leaders okay with 1,500 Americans dying daily from COVID-19, 55,000 school children hospitalized from the virus since August? But sure, halt vaccine orders, close schools, overwhelm the hospitals, tank the economy just to win the midterm elections. Boy, that's real, and it almost sounds like making reference directly to AG Eric Schmidt there. Definitely seems like his motivations. I mean, he's pandering to the wackiest whack jobs. The anti-vaxxers, the QAnon folks. I mean, think about it. 2 years ago, everybody would be saying this stuff, whether you're Republican or Democrat. Everybody would saying that these were the wackiest, most fringe aspects of the party. The anti-vaxxers, the QAnon folks. I mean, just the looniest loons, right? That's not really, it should not represent the party, but apparently this is what we're left over with, right? Again, I have said before, I am a conservative. I still am a conservative. I don't know of any Republicans that I'm just die hard over, but that's not really how that works in the real world either. So Bill writes, I wish our governor would stop playing politics with death. Boy, you hit the nail on the head right there. Amy writes, in 1965, when Medicare was signed into law, and there was a year's grace period to allow hospitals to be fully compliant with federal laws. As the deadline approached, lots of hospitals were not compliant because they remained segregated. This was supposed to be covered by the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Hospitals, seeing the reality that they wouldn't be able to be a part of the Medicare program without changes, managed to desegregate before the deadline. It's not the only time that requirements of federal law override state laws. In this case, OSHA regulations for safe workplace conditions is the vehicle for compliance. And I've said this before, if OSHA can require me to fix a commercial grade roof for a building that I'm just simply working in, as the property manager, but also as a tenant, in order to keep my business operating without having OSHA come in and shut me down because the actual owner of the facility had other things, who was too busy, vacationing in the Balkans that week. Definitely they can make folks, well, it's a good thing that Governor Mike Parson made, has put measures forward to create so many hospitality jobs. So I guess a lot of folks will be working, like I said, at the local bowling alley, at the truck stops, always hiring. So the option's there for you anti-vaxxer folks. Melvin says, yet the state wants to overreach to deny local governments and schools boards to do what they feel is in their citizens' best interest. Pot, meat, kettle. Not exactly my favorite use of the English language, but absolutely, Melvin, kind of hit the nail on the head right there. Definitely pot, meat, kettle. I've said that several times, just right here. Jim says, here for the comments. It's sad how stupid extremists it's sad how stupid extremist people are both political sides. Whoa. This isn't about a vaccine that doesn't prevent you from getting or spreading COVID. It's about your basic rights as an American. The government don't stop you from smoking because it can kill you. They don't control your diet to cure your obesity or type 2 diabetes. Go ahead, give them an inch and see what else they take when they take a foot. Come on, people. We have some very brave soldiers and veterans that died for just what is now trying to be taken away. You can't force your neighbor to eat better, nor can you force a vaccine. In return for your understanding, your neighbor won't force you to eat bad or refuse you to vaccinate. Look, I'm just reading these as they come, but firstly, that's kind of atrocious to put veterans into that. And again, so close to September 11th, it's kind of disgusting. I mean, there's so many things that could be said about September 11th in general, the war in Afghanistan in general, the war in Iraq in general, but yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not what I don't know. I don't know. I used to be a personal chef. This is 700,000 years ago, right? But I used to be a personal chef for military policemen who actually served in the army. Come from a family of veterans, and I'm pretty sure this is not what they joined up for. And anyone who's had any friends or relatives who have actually died in service, I'm pretty sure that this has nothing to do with that, and it's pretty much just sad and disgusting that someone would equate an OSHA violation to dead veterans. I mean, are you freaking kidding me right now? What kind of a mind comes up with this crap? And so that's first. Secondly, the government does regulate smoking. This was posted by somebody who was posting in a forum that's based out of Springfield, Missouri, which has, funnily enough, a smoking ban where you can't smoke in a restaurant, in a bar, within so many feet of commercial or residential buildings, in common places that aren't covered by so many feet of a half wall. Breezeways are okay as long as there's an opening on ventilation on two sides of the building. So every 100% of this statement is just trash. Katie writes, mandating vaccinations is not an uncommon thing. The military has done it for years. Children have to have them to go to school. People act like this is a new thing, and it's not. Even this vaccine considered new is not at all new. They've studied it for 20 to 30 years. What is it? The mRNA technology. Technology and science is on our side. And when you compare the development of the polio vaccine timeframe to the COVID vaccine timeframe, or any vaccine for that matter, God, that is so real. If this was an issue, I'm sure that they would have a problem back then. Without the technology that we have today, and they were still able to come up with smallpox vaccines, polio vaccines. Basically, by today's comparison, those folks were working in the dark ages, but still somehow were able to get it right. And finally, Scott, absolutely stupid from this administration. I'd expect nothing less. The vaccines are not working, folks. Time to try a different direction. Israel is 90% vaccinated, and they are having surges, as well as 86% of the people in hospitals there are fully vaxxed. Well, let's dig a little bit deeper there. Obviously, I'd pre-prepared this, so NPR posted just last month, actually, on 20th of August, highly vaccinated Israel is seeing a dramatic surge in new COVID cases. Here's why. Immunity from the vaccine drips. Israel had a fully vaccinated slightly over half its population by March 25th. Infections waned. Venues reopened to the vaccinated, and the prime minister told Israelis to go out and have fun. By June, all restrictions, including indoor masking, were abolished, but Israel paid a price for the early rollout. Health officials and then Pfizer said the data showed a dip in the vaccine's protection around 6 months after receiving the second shot. So it's good for 6 months, and then it starts to dip. The Delta variant broke through the vaccine's waning protection. It was a perfect storm. The vaccine's waning protection came around the same time the more infectious Delta variant arrived in Israel this summer. or as we've been calling it, the Parson variant. Delta accounts for nearly all infections in Israel today. Huh. Well, that's curious. The most influential event was so many people who went abroad in the summer and brought the Delta variant very, very quickly to Israel. If you get infected, being vaccinated helps. Good news is that among Israel's serious infections on Thursday of the week, according to Health Ministry, the rate of serious cases among unvaccinated people over age 60 was 9 times more than the rate among fully vaccinated people the same age category. The bad news, doctors say, is that half of Israel's seriously ill patients who are currently hospitalized were fully vaccinated at least 5 months ago. Most of them are over 60 and have comorbidities. Isn't that the same thing that all the anti-vaxxers last year before there was an vaccine? Or sorry, all the QAnon nut jobs before there was a vaccine? The anti-mask people were making reference to, oh, it's just like the flu. Everybody who died has comorbidities. Well, these folks are just making up any excuse they can, acting like the rest of us weren't here to watch the whole process. Israel's high vaccination rate isn't high enough. The country jumped out ahead of all other countries in vaccines, and 78% of eligible Israelis over 12 years old are vaccinated, but Israel has a young population, with many under the eligible age for vaccination, and about 1.1 million eligible Israelis, largely between the ages of 12 and 20, have declined to take even one dose of the vaccine. That means only 58% of Israel's total citizenry is fully vaccinated. Vaccines don't work, folks. It's not working. Time to try a different direction. What is that different direction? I gotta ask you, Scott. What the hell is that? Israel's 90% vaccinated? Well, clearly it's not. So, yeah, I mean, it's easy to tell what's wrong with these people in our government. It's easy to tell what's wrong with people out there in the world. I mean, they're just basically, the nut jobs are encouraging each other. And I can't blame the government. I can't blame folks like Eric Schmidt and Mike Parson entirely. They are the product of their environment. They're just like everyone else. Their only concern is to make money. I mean, let's be real about this. Their only concern is power and greed and money. They're politicians. They're in it for the long run. I mean, one of them's an attorney general. One of them's a former cop. Now he's the governor. I mean, their only concern is power and money. The only way to do that is to continue to do that. And they just so happen to belong to a faction where their base is a bunch of whack jobs. So if they don't play the whack jobs, they lose power and money, which are the only two most important things, available to these guys. So, yeah, that's a thing. Listen, if you're checking this out on YouTube, feel free to check out any of my videos posted over here. If you're checking this out on any of your, wherever you get podcasts, I don't know, I'm still new to this, iTunes and some of the other guys, Spotify. Definitely want to catch me in the next episode, and yeah, bro, I'll see you then.